Alright gang, welcome back to our 200 horsepower challenge on CalmLands. You join me on my way to the shop here for very good reason. Mostly because I had completely forgot about a specific tractor that is going to fix all of our ailments. As you know, over the last number of episodes, we've been having issues with our tractors. Third time's the charm, gang. We're going to buy a new tractor once again today. But this one is the one we needed. I just forgot about it. I don't know how I forgot about it, but I did. This is actually going to make us a profit by selling that tractor and getting this one. It's the old Fiat. I know other people have used it before. I don't think I've seen anybody, at least not yet, use it in this challenge playthrough, but this is going to be our savior. It's 180 horsepower, so it's 10 horsepower less than what we just sold, but it is four-wheel drive. At least I believe it is. It is four-wheel drive, so this will help us get up that massive hill, especially when we're carrying bales, among other things. This is going to be our savior. Let's go ahead and just get everything set up here. I'm just basically doing the basics. I do want a beacon on it, and I want the quickie front loader, because we already have a quickie, so it should work. We should be able to just change that, and actually, you know what? We're gonna put it. I haven't been doing a license plate at all, but we're gonna do one. Let's do Z. Nah, actually won't. I won't be able to do what I wanted to do, so we'll just we'll take it off. So this is only going to cost us, actually I want to do wide tires, it's going to cost us $36,150. That's it. That's not bad. Actually, I want the front linkage on it. If we do the front linkage, we could do the 3 mower setup again, so we can buy that other mower. So we've lost a little bit of money on these, you know, beginning issues that I guess I'm going to call them that I've ran into, but this is going to save us. It really is going to save us. So we actually made a profit, as you can see. We started with like 88,000. We now have 95,000. So we've got more money than what we started with. We also sold that weight, as you saw. Don't need it. We've got the cultivator now. We can use that as the weight, the offset weight. So we're going to get this back to the farm. So our objectives today are there's not a whole lot we can do. There's a lot of snow on the ground. I need to take a look actually on the way there and see if it's going to warm up, so maybe the snow will melt. Let's take a look at the weather here. Yeah, so right around noon it'll get to 45 and then 46 at 1. And then it pretty much stays at the low 40, high 30s until late tonight. We won't be working that late on this episode. So I'm hoping once we get a little bit warmer here, 10 o'clock or so, the snow will start maybe melting a little bit. And we'll be able to see a little bit more than we can now. We need to get that other field cultivated. We have an outline cultivated in the last episode. We worked late into the night because of the bale issue we had. Bales everywhere. But we never got it finished. And the problem is, right now there's snow on the ground, so we're going to have a hard time seeing our path. I mean, we're going to be able to see it, but there's a potential that we could mess up and go outside of our line, and I really don't like that. That kind of scares me a little bit. So that's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is going to be dependent upon the snow. We're either going to chop down some trees in the back on our new field, our new plot of field, where we just cultivated into a field, or we're going to work on placing some kind of greenhouse and then a market sell point. We may do all 3. It's really just going to depend on time. I want to get that field drilled first and foremost, and I want to get something put into it. So that's our first goal. Well, let's see how we do with that. Let's see if we can actually cultivate it without sliding all over the place, and make sure that we get, you know, where we want it to be. And then from there, we'll see what time it is, where the snow is in regard to being melted or not, and we'll make our next decision. But ideally, I would like to go around the outline 1 or 2 more times and then put this on a worker and hope the worker can create the field properly without, you know, going crazy, which I don't have a whole lot of trust in him, if I'm honest with you, gang. I really don't. So let's hook into this as well. Let's make sure we can hook into this, I should say. This shouldn't have an issue. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. So we'll hook into this real quick. if I can back up the right way into the cultivator here. And we'll head over there and we'll get working on setting that up. Need to take a look and see how the sheep are doing too. Actually, let's just do that right now really quick while we're here. They still have food and water. They're good. They're good for now. We'll feed them and, well, we'll put another bale in there, I should say. And we will fill up their water tank before the end of this episode too. That'll be the last thing we do today. So we're watching a lot of the other guys that are doing this challenge. They're all linked down below in the description. If you haven't checked theirs out for whatever reason, go do so. I think I'm in last place, but I kind of expected to be in last place. I'm on console. There are a few other people that are doing console work, but I think they're a little bit better off than I am because they were lucky enough to either pick or randomly have chosen a bigger plot of land than I got. So they were already an advantage based off that alone. They've got more land than I do to start. But I don't think we're doing too bad. I think we still have a chance to at least catch up and not get last place, even though it's not really a competition. The challenge, it's not really a competition. I love a competition. I love a good competition, so I don't want to be last. I know I'm not going to be able to beat the PC guys. They have way too many other mods at their disposal that us console players just simply do not have. But I don't want to be last. That's all. I just want to be able to say I'm better off than one other console player. But I don't know if that's going to happen. The console players I'm up against are much better at this game than I am. But that's okay. It's all good fun. It's all good fun. So like I said, we're going to go around the headland here a few times, once at least, maybe even twice. And then we're going to put it on a worker, and we're just going to watch the worker do one lap up and down and see if they have any issues. If they have issues, I'm going to take it off immediately. I don't want them going way out into the boondocks and getting us a field set up that is outside the boundary lines where we plant it and we can't harvest it. Like, that is the last thing I want to happen. So we're just going to keep an eye on them for one lap real quick. And then from there, if they do an okay job, we'll let them go. Let them go at it, and we'll jump up here and either cut down some trees or we'll go over and look at potentially making that one of those placeable greenhouses I was talking about. Now, as far as the placeable greenhouses go, we have a couple of options. The hydroponic greenhouse sounds really good to me. I think it doubles your yield of what you normally get from a greenhouse, but it does require you to insert liquid fertilizer. Liquid fertilizer is relatively expensive. And by relatively expensive, I mean it's super expensive. So, the question is, do we want to go that path of doing that? I kind of want to, because we're going to need to do herbicide after we harvest these fields one time. We can always cultivate them again, don't get me wrong, but we're still probably going to need the herbicide at some point. So based off of that, I think we're going to do that one. It's a little bit more expensive up front, but in the long run of a series like this, I think it's actually going to be worth it. So we'll look at it. We'll look at it, take a peek and see. If we do it, we're going to put it right to the left of where the sheep are there. And then I also would like to do some other placements. Now, I don't know if we're going to do all of these placements I'm talking about today. The hydroponic greenhouse I would like to do today. I would also like to buy some of the other equipment we're going to need. But the biggest problem with that, buying it early, is it could be in the sale market next month. And I believe next month, if I calculate it properly, next month that field over there will be ready to be harvested next month. But that's only if I calculated it properly. So part of me doesn't want to buy any equipment until we actually need it. But if we do the hydroponics, we will need the liquid fertilizer. And I've never done the hydroponic greenhouse before. So it says it takes liquid fertilizer. I'm not really sure how to get the liquid fertilizer into the hydroponics greenhouse. I may have to just run some tests off camera on a completely different map with that hydroponic just to see if I can figure out what the hell I'm doing. the last thing I want to do is buy it, try to put in some liquid fertilizer, have an issue, can't figure out how to do it, and I waste money. I've already wasted money buying 3 different tractors. I don't want to go through that issue again. If that makes sense. Which I'm sure it does. At least for the guys that are doing this challenge. I'm sure it makes sense to them. Now, the actual trees themselves, the options we have there are to cut them down with a saw or a chainsaw, and then cut them again and carry them by hand, but they're going to be very small if we do that. Or we cut them down, maybe cut them in half, and we buy a log fork for a front loader. Now, that's another expense we have to factor in. I don't think log forks are that expensive, honestly. But I don't know. I don't know what the best way to do about it. I think the sawmill gives you more money if you bring a full log rather than cut up into little pieces. Because if they cut it into little pieces, they can't do as much with it. So I think they give you more. Pretty sure, at least. Now, all of these trees that you see up here, we're actually not going to be able to cut. It's really just the row that's right against the edge of our crop field we're creating here. So there's going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably like 10 maybe we can cut. It's not that many trees. So is the log fork even worth it for 10 trees? We'll probably have another 10 on the other side. Maybe a few more, maybe a few less on the other field that we own. That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't know. I just don't know, gang. The other option we could do is remove all of this altogether. Everything I just said. Forget everything I just said. And potentially buy another field. But we can't buy the bigger fields that I wanted to buy. It'd have to be one of those smaller fields that's a little bit further to the north, which would take us a little bit longer to get to. I don't necessarily hate the idea of doing that, because eventually I feel like we're going to have to get to that point. At least I'm hoping that we're going to start making enough money off the crop to get to there, but I don't know. There's a lot of options on the plate here, if you can tell. I've thought about this a lot, and I really still don't really know which path or direction I want to go. So this is going to be kind of a, as we continue on, game time decision, right? So we'll see. Regardless, we're going to get down here to the bottom of this. I'm going to put it on a worker then. We're going to see how it goes. If it goes well, then we're going to let him go. If not, we'll jump into a time lapse until I get this done. So let me get to the bottom here. I'll just jump cut till we get to the bottom here. We'll set it on a worker. We'll see how he does. Okay, he did all right for a little bit, and then he stopped. I suspect the reason he's stopping is because there's still some grass in the way, and it detects it kind of like what a worker detects a wood stump in the ground. That's my guess. I don't know for sure if that's what it is, but that's just my guess. So we're going to have to do it ourselves. So we'll go ahead and throw in a time lapse here. We'll get this done. It's going to take us a while. And we'll see where we're at as far as the snow and the time goes when we're done with this. So now I've let the worker have another shot here, and went to the end here, no problem. We're going to wait and make sure he turns around properly and everything's set up the right way the next time, but... Oh, nope. Nope. He's going to keep going to the end, so nope, that ain't going to work. Well, I thought we had something going there for a minute, but evidently we don't. He's just going to go to the end, which I guess he could do, but the problem is if we have him do that on the way back here on the other side, there is a issue because remember we mowed kind of too far out of our boundary, and I feel like even though we do have an initial line set where some of that snow is, I just have a feeling that they're going to keep going, and I don't want that to happen, so that makes me nervous. So short little hiatus here, Bang, but we're going to go right back into a time lapse again. Unfortunately, we still have a decent chunk to get through here. It's going to take us some time, gang, but we'll get through it. See you guys on the other side. Alright gang, that's the field cultivated. You can see it did get warm enough as I was hoping, and the snow has gone away, which is great for us, so now we can actually see what we're doing. So I think I've decided what I'm going to do. So we are going to put the hydroponic greenhouse down. I'm going to take a chance. So what I did is I looked at our little water tank over there. It says on it that it can hold fertilizer. Now, I don't want to use the same tank. I don't think that's really that realistic. If I was to put fertilizer in a water tank, I think that would really mess up the water system for the sheep. So we're going to buy another one of those. We'll do a different color just to utilize, to signify or utilize that is... Oop, I don't want... Nope, we don't want sorghum. We're putting in the wrong thing here. I want to put soybeans in. Give me for a second. We're going to restart this. We're probably going to get more. I don't see any way that we're not going to have to get more here. So, but we're going to do that. We're also going to buy a sprayer because we're going to need the sprayer relatively soon. I don't think we're going to need it for this field. We are just because I screwed up there on that little section, but I'm not that worried about losing a little bit of crop there. We can have a little bit of weeds there. It's not really going to kill us, I don't think. Now, I think we actually have some bags back at the farm, if I remember correctly. I should have filled this up before we came over here, but we can at least get a lap done with this, and I can talk a little bit more why I want to do the hydroponic. So, I mentioned previously the hydroponic does give you a bigger outcome or a higher output, which we need, all right? We are behind the 8 ball because we are on console, and as I mentioned, I think I'm not positive on this, but I think we're in last place, or we're pretty close to last place. So I want to try to get as much money as I can. Now, doing that, gives everybody else the opportunity to also put in a hydroponic. But we've got to try to do something to get ahead of people as fast as we can. And it's not that much more expensive. Well, it is for the fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, but the actual the tank to hold it and the actual greenhouse itself is not that big of a difference. I will show you once we get around here and we go fill this up, max this out. But our goal really is only going to be to use a liquid fertilizer in the greenhouse. We're still going to use pellet fertilizer when we have to fertilize the field a second time, which we won't have to do yet. We will when we harvest that field over there. But we don't have to do it here because it was grass beforehand, so it already has an application of fertilizer, and we are putting an application down as we speak right now. So I'm going to get to the end of this lap. We're going to go over here. We're going to fill this up. We're going to bring this back. We're going to put it on a worker for at least temporarily for a little while until we get everything sorted out how we want it to put our greenhouse down. Now, I'm going to have to move some equipment, I think, because realistically where I want to put it is on the other side of the sheep. So kind of where that baler is. May have to move the mower too. I probably will, just to be safe. So we'll fill this up really quick, and then we will move that stuff, and then we'll take this over there and put it on a worker, and let the worker do his thing. Perfect. Just at least another bag, probably total, minimum. I don't know if those other bags had stuff in them or not, or if they had been used properly previously, excuse me. But this should be enough to do the field over here. Let's go ahead and drop that there. And we'll move the baler over. Kind of messing up our makeshift yard we made already, but that's okay. We only planned on it being temporary. We said that. We said we'll make a yard once we get a little bit more well off, a little more funds, and a little more land. The yard, I still plan to have the yard kind of where we are here. Just expanding it out to the left over here. It's pretty flat right here, with the exception of the downhill slope there to the water, but I want to keep the yard relatively close to the water as well because we want to have all our placeables and everything near that. We can redo the yard. That's not a problem. it's just a makeshift yard anyway, right now. Alright, that should work for now. That should be plenty of room. I'm hoping, at least. It's enough room for us. Should be good. Should be happy there. He might miss a little bit there, and if he does, we'll come back and fix it. They are going to miss some there, but that's okay. Well, is it her? That's a her. Sorry. She may miss a little bit. That's okay. We'll fix it. If she comes back on this path, we'll get her set up again properly. We'll just make sure she's going to go to the right. I have a feeling she's going to go to the left. I'm just going to turn her off right now. I actually think I'm going to have her go up and down, too. I don't even think I'm going to have it go side to side. This is a pretty big field. This field is bigger than our first field we made. Not by a lot, but it is bigger. Soybeans in is because they're ready kind of in the middle of summer. I don't know for sure. Well, I say they're ready. Their best price is kind of in the middle of summer. I don't know for sure if they will be ready by the middle of summer, but that's our goal at least, is to try to get it ready to harvest at that point. All right. Let's head back over here. We're going to have to walk it on foot. We're going to have to hoof it. We don't have any other vehicles right now. Actually, is there anything out here? Ooh, that's really nice, but that's way too much for us. That's also nice, but again, too much. All this stuff out here is way too much horsepower for us, and too much money. If there was a super cheap tractor out there, you know, like a 40 horsepower or something like that, I was going to go ahead and pick it up. It'll probably be useful for certain things, moving stuff around the yard, the water trailers, fertilizer trailer. It could probably do the sprayer when we buy it, because we're not going to have a big sprayer. It could probably do the windrowing as well. We probably could do all of that, honestly. How are our sheep doing? 100% health. We got 10 animals. They still got plenty of water and food for now. We will fill them up, like I said, before the end of the episode. Now that we're here, let's go ahead and get to our hydroponic greenhouse. So a regular greenhouse costs us 10 grand for our large one. This is a hydroponic greenhouse large. It's the same exact price. The only difference is you have to put in liquid fertilizer. So we're going to do this way. I want to keep the water basin. What's it overlapping? Is there something in the ground there? Maybe there's grass that I missed trying to pick up. Well, that's okay. It's not that far away. Maybe it's the spawn point for the wool. I don't know. Regardless, we're still going to put it there. Speaking of this, right next to the hydroponic greenhouse is a maple syrup production. I also plan to try to incorporate that at some point. I don't know when we will incorporate it, but that's my goal. I'll try to push this all the way up to the edge of our land. And then I want it... There we go. That's where I want it. Right there. $10,329. There it goes. We've got one. So now we've got to fill it up with some water. We've got to get some liquid fertilizer into it. And then we should be good. Now, a little bit of money spending here, but I'm going to paint the ground a little bit where this is as well. I just want to make it look a little bit neater. Why does this say concrete? Doesn't look like concrete to me. It looks like mud. Right there, that one? I don't know. We're just gonna use dirt, I think, for now. We already have dirt from this area, so why not? Not too much, just a little bit, right? Just make a nice little path here. It's not even really enough for our tractor or anything to go on, so we're gonna expand it ever so slightly here. Perfect. That's gonna be good enough for me. About the best I'm gonna be able to do, honestly. Alright, nice. So now we could actually make this like a makeshift back wall for our makeshift yard in the grass here. We could push that up to here. And you might be asking, well, why aren't you putting something else in there? Well, I could. Maybe I should do another hydroponic right next to it. That's an idea. But then I think we're going to be spending too much money at that point. I don't want to spend that much money yet, because I need to buy another plot of land. And we have to buy a harvester, and we have to buy a trailer. Now, we could probably get a relatively cheap trailer, but harvesters, no matter which way you cut it, they're not cheap. I think the cheapest one that I've seen out there as far as a harvester goes is 20-something thousand. We don't want forage harvesters. We want a regular harvester. Let me just verify that. 23,000, 26, 32, 20. Yeah, 20,000. Plus a $6,000 header. So 26 grand is the cheapest one you're going to get. It's going to take up a good chunk of money. And then a trailer itself is going to take up quite a chunk, honestly. We could probably get this one. It doesn't have that much capacity. But it could be like a temporary thing, but really I don't want that. I want something that has a little bit more beef to it. So we don't have to make so many trips back and forth. Like I said, I want to maybe potentially put a market in as well. We're going to look at doing that right now as well while the worker's there. But, I mean, just looking at this, you can kind of see as we're going through here, I mean, the cheapest one that I'm seeing that, you know, is worth it is probably this $3,500 one. $4,500 actually. Yeah, it's not the best. It's really not. This one is maybe the next best one, but we're using that in my Elm Creek playthrough. I don't really necessarily like to use the same ones, but we may end up having to do it. But in any case, you can see, it's not the easiest thing for us to sort out here. So the only other thing I can think to do right now while we wait is put in our selling point. Now, there are a lot of different selling points out here to choose from. I know there are ones that are worth tons of money, and then there are ones that are like 1,000, right? Some of these are $1,000. There's a market stall. This is the one I'd like. So there's a $100 selling grain grate, which I had used on my main channel before. Not as big of a fan of that. There is this option here. Now, what I want to do here is, I don't like turning these interactive zone markers on because I think it takes away from the immersion, but I don't really know where this one would be at, so for this one I'm considering it, and I think I actually kind of want to put it here. I don't know if this will mess anything up or not. I think the biggest problem with putting that there, though, is we're going to need to use the forks to pick up the pallets. Am I going to even be able to pick the pallets up? I mean, I can always use... I think some pallets you can pick up. I don't think I'm going to be able to pick up the wool pallets. They'll be too heavy. I don't know about fruit and vegetables. I don't know if they can be picked up or not. That's part of the problem, I think. So based off of that, we're not going to put the market down yet, but just know that that's my idea, is to kind of stick it somewhere in that vicinity, in the middle between those two. Yeah, we won't do it yet. But while we're waiting, we can go ahead and buy another trailer. Or water bucket trailer, whatever you want to call it. Bowser, whatever you guys want to call it, depending on where you are. So the first one we made was was it dark blue or light blue? I don't know which one that is. I guess it's like a dark blue. So just keep away from the blue. How about that? Let's make it... Actually, I don't really mind the red. There's 3 different reds, though. I'm gonna make it that red. It's kind of an ugly red, almost. Which means not water. Right? We'll go with that. Change this. Turn the license plates off. Perfect. So we'll buy that. We need to buy some pallet of liquid fertilizer. Which one do we want? Helm or Corteva? Don't think it matters. We'll go with Corteva. See, liquid fertilizer is expensive. Herbicides also very expensive. Very, very, very expensive indeed. Alright, how's our worker doing? Not bad, but he still has a long way to go. So, I don't want to waste all of our money, like I said, I really don't. I don't want to waste all of our money. But we need another tractor. We really do. We need another tractor. So, is there anything out here that I want like the cheapest tractor I can get that can pull stuff? Maybe that 80 horsepower. I mean, that's pretty high up. $3,500. That's pretty daggone good. I think that's what we're going to go with. That old Farmall. Let's just double check here. But I think that's the cheapest one out there. Again, like I said, this is literally just to carry some stuff. I don't think there was a limit. No, there's not. There's not. Yeah, there's not a limit on what kind of power you need to pull it. I'm sure you need something, but I mean, even if it's slow, we're only going to need to go downhill, because once we get it down here, we're never going to have to take it back up there again. Unless we decide to sell it, right? But if we decide to do that, then I can use the other tractor to take it back up there. Just double checking real quick here, gang. Bear with me for a minute. I appreciate your patience. Your old patience. That is definitely the cheapest thing out there. So let's go ahead and buy it. And that is just going to be our workhorse for around the yard. Yeah, so we'll put 80 horsepower on. I like the 4 wheels. Tricycles are nice, but don't really care. It's nice that they don't really charge you anything for this one. I like the design one. I like that old school design like that. We'll go with an actual padded seat. Fenders, yeah. Do I like the fenders? I'm going to take them off, actually. Light position. I like them in the front. Main color. We can change the colors here. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. We gotta go with like that candy apple red right there, huh? We'll go white. Or silver, whatever. We'll go with that one. And then change the license plate. Turn that off. Perfect. Alright. Here we go, gang. We've got another tractor. Very old, very tiny. But it still has 80 horsepower, so that's... in my eyes, that's good enough for me, man. That's perfect for, like, moving around these little water barrels and everything else. I don't know how much the fertilizer will fill up on this. I don't know if it'll be... I don't think it's going to be the full thing. I think it's like a 2,000... Yeah, it's 2,000. So, may not be the smartest play, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and buy another one up here. We're going to need it eventually anyway, so we might as well buy it, fill this thing to max. This other one can just stay up here. It's not really going to harm anything. We can get it next time we're up here with the other, with our main trailer that has the forks. Now, the turning radius on this isn't going to be that good. We know that, but... Nice. I love old trailers, man. I really do. There's a reason why there's a kind of a collector's market for some old trailers, or old tractors similar to this. They're just really cool to look at. They don't make them like that anymore. They don't make everything like old school. The cars are the same way, but it's just cool, man. It's just cool. This tractor's loud though. Kind of you would expect it though. As an old tractor, you would expect it to be loud. I'll see you guys back at the farm. Alright gang, pulling up here to the farm. We're going to go ahead and drop the liquid fertilizer in immediately. And then we're probably just going to leave this Bowser very close to that point where we can... Like, if I can sit it here, that would be great. Because then I can turn the other Bowser over there around the other way. And then I can just back that water trailer up back and forth whenever we need it. I don't know how much this is going to accept. It might be the whole thing, could be need more. It looks like it's going to need more. I kind of expected that. That's one of the reasons I think I kind of bought so much fertilizer. Well, it took every bit of it, basically. It's maxed out now. What do we want to make, gang? Do we want tomatoes, lettuce, or strawberries? Let's take a peek out here and see what the best thing to... I think it's lettuce normally. Oh yeah, lettuce is a lot more. A lot. But, I mean, you get more of everything else, so that's the reason why, right? I mean, there's no reason to do tomatoes. Lettuce it is. What we can do from this, though, once we get a little bit more money, we can make some other placeable, some other productions and create other items utilizing, you know, the lettuce, the tomatoes, the strawberries, whatever it is we decide to do. I still think lettuce is the way to go, gang. So we're going to go lettuce. May get less, technically. We are going to get less, technically. There's only 312 cycles a month versus everybody else. But we're still going to go with it. We got some lettuce in there. I love the way this tractor looks, man. This tractor's sweet. So happy we were able to buy it. Alright, filled up the sheep water. We're going to have to fill this water up again. Let's go fill this up. Hang on there, water barrel. Hang on there, Willie. I'm glad that we have the ability to just take water out of the big river here. I mean, it's not harming anything. We're not taking that much. Some maps you play on, you're not allowed to. Even if you go in there, there's just no trigger to accept water. This is taking a lot of water. How much water do we need? Wow. Okay. This is going to take a while to fill all this water up. How's our worker doing? Oh, they still got a long way to go. Long, long way to go. All right, let's get this thing filled up. That's a whole lot of trips filling up some water. Guess we need a bigger water tank Bowser for this this hydroponic thing, but trying to save money. So I'm hoping that they don't eat through the water that much, but based on how much it holds, I feel like they do eat through the water that quickly. So the water is almost out where it needs to be. Almost. So we'll do the rest of these off camera. The worker is almost done finishing that field. He's got maybe 3 or 4 more passes. So hopefully by the time we get that thing filled with water, the work will be done. We can reconvene then. Alright, gang. We have completed it. That is full of water now. There's nothing else we can do on that one. So what we're going to do here is, I believe they're on their last pass. They are. I don't know what I'll be able to pick up with this tractor, but I'm going to attempt to start realigning some stuff now that we kind of have a backdrop for what will be our new makeshift yard. It's pretty much the same thing as it was before. We're just going to kind of wrap them around the hydroponic greenhouse. We're going to use it as a backdrop, basically. Alright, so the workers completed their task, which is great. Now, I said we need to get something for lime and something for rolling. I think we're going to go one more without doing that. We may get it in the next episode, but we're not going to do it for that field over there. Even though I probably should, we're not going to. So, for those of you that were expecting me to do that, because that's what I said I planned on doing, I'm slightly changing the plans. Just slightly. We've got $73,000, which is plenty to buy the harvester and the trailer. Honestly, it is. But there are some other things that we want to accomplish here. I want to buy another plot of land. And if I buy that stuff, even though in the long run it will help us, it's taken away from the funds that I'm trying to save for the next plot of land. If that makes any sense. I want to try to keep the rest that we got, because when we take away 26,000, we're going to be down to 50,000 basically. Now we are going to make some money off selling that crop, certainly. I don't know how much though. I really don't. I mean, I'm hoping to get, you know, 28, 30,000 out of it, but I don't know if we're going to. We may not. We may not have enough to get that. Almost done redoing the yard here. And then when that's done, we will call the episode there. Again, we're just going to leave those bags there. They're not really harming anything being there. They're kind of out of the way, which is good for now. Eventually, when we actually have an actual yard and some sheds and stuff, we'll think about it then. But for now, they're not harming anything. We're going to leave them be. Almost everything in that cedar. Look at that. We had 1% left in the actual seed. 1%. So the last job for the day is going to be, we're going to fill this up with whatever's left in those bags. I don't know if there's still be anything left in those bags, or if we're going to utilize everything in those bags or not, but we're going to fill them up as much as we can. Yeah. I didn't think there was going to be enough to fill the whole thing up. And then we're going to move the one bale, at least one, no, we've done one bale, we've got 4. We're going to move one of the bales into the sheep pen, so they have food still at their disposal if they need it. Come on. Come on, tractor, come on, baby. Back this sucker up here. We're going to put it right here behind the windrower. Perfect. Let's go pick up this bale, stick it in the sheep pen. Still have to figure out some way to get that bale out of there. I don't know what I'm going to do to get that out. I might have to try to figure out some crazy ideas off camera for that one, but we're going to figure something out. That should be good. The door should close it from there. Perfect. Alright, gang. We'll leave that episode there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, subscribe if you're new. It's free. It helps me out a ton if you do so. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, ideas, let me know down below. Watch everybody else's videos if you want. The links are down below in the description. It's been really interesting seeing how everybody's going about this challenge. And until next time, we'll see you guys in the next episode.